Welcome, beautiful hearts. We are here with an introduction, a very special introduction with Jean Eng, who channels frequencies from the cosmic realms, mostly the Arcturians. But today we have the angels of happiness all around us as we're talking about the happiness factor. Jean, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for this introduction today.
Hi, Lauren. Hi, everyone. Yeah, really excited about this next course on the happiness factor and excited to connect to these angels of happiness that kind of are new to me. Just I'm sure they're ancient, throughout time, but kind of working on this particular topic. I think there's also angelic or spiritual beings that have sort of been probably in our background if we haven't connected to them sort of consciously, trying to help us find our inner peace, our inner happiness, as well as outer happiness. This is an introduction to the happiness factor and how it can be of benefit both for yourself, your family, the groups you serve, the greater community, and the frequency that we're experiencing here on the planet. Anyways, the happiness factor really evolved from connecting with the happiness angels, which are a group of spiritual beings. I think they work in our background, sort of trying to help us, inspire us to find our inner peace, our inner joy, our inner light. And we'll be invoking these happiness angels in three different transmissions. The first transmission will focus on relaxing. One of the sort of great sort of writers who kind of helped start the New Age movement about 100 or so years ago was Neville Goddard. And he really focused on kind of creating that relaxed state, also that state that would allow us to find the feeling or the emotion of what we are trying to accomplish, which will be the second transmission. But one of the techniques that he had was that you would relax almost like right before sleeping. And then in that sort of sleepy state, you would, or actually the most relaxed state, you would imagine what you wanted to accomplish or what you wanted to achieve. And by having that sort of accomplishment or achievement, you'd actually feel into that and then fall asleep in that feeling. And that's a very powerful way to manifest. I think now we've sort of understood that on a deeper level, that using this sort of brainwave model, we sort of gone from the beta brainwave level, drop down to a slower brainwave level to alpha or theta. Delta is usually deep sleep where we're unconscious, even though you can train that in the classes that we've had on sleep yoga to even be aware in that sort of void, ever present awareness state. That's the Delta deep sleep. But these other two brainwave levels, the alpha and the theta, alpha usually is in a daydreaming state. Theta is probably even a deeper creative state. Probably what was similar to what Neville Goddard was saying. Goddard was saying that we were entering in when we were sort of in a very relaxed kind of pre-sleep state. And this is a great way to actually speak directly to our subconscious. So, really, the most powerful way of manifesting our most happy life is to speak with the subconscious, to get at the subconscious programs, and then to rewrite those programs so we could imagine things at our sort of a waking state level. We could tell our things at our waking state level. But this tends to take a lot of repetition. It may not even reach sort of how we actually act. And how we act is actually from this subconscious instruction or programming level. So, sort of this first transmission will uncover or unpack this idea of deep relaxation, how this deep relaxation can lead to instructing our subconscious. And that just automatically starts to manifest the type of life that we want. The second day will be a transmission that's focusing really on the emotional code or the emotional frequency of what we want to manifest. And this really is what also Neville Goddard was trying to get at. is that it's not so much visualizing that which we wanted as objects and forms, but really to feel what we would be like accomplishing those goals. So one of the practices is actually to have a goal in mind, maybe bring 3 to 5 goals to the process. And then we'll do this process where we'll actually feel into how we would feel after we accomplish that goal, and then really use that as the visualization. Then we could add that on top of visualizing or feeling that feeling when we're falling asleep, or even when we're falling asleep in a nap, or simply just really relaxing deeply and then visualizing what we want to accomplish, feeling what that would feel like, and then spreading that feeling all around our body and really embodying that feeling, that kind of emotional code frequency, which I kind of labeled for this course. The transmissions, both for the relaxation and also for this emotional code frequency, is a way to really embody these principles, to kind of encode them on all the 7 subtle body levels, whether that be physical, etheric, emotional, mental, causal, spiritual, or divine. The third session is really upgrading the techniques we have. We'll go over a number of the techniques. I call them power manifesting. It's very similar to and inspired by the book by Paul McKenna under the same title, Power Manifesting. And Paul McKenna is a United Kingdom based NLP practitioner, hypnotist, again, using techniques that could help program our subconscious, particularly looking at our past, kind of bringing peace to our younger self, kind of raising our frequency, our vibration, and also eliminating those subconscious programmings that are blocking us, keeping us from achieving, our greatest self, our happiness self. And these techniques are very fast, very quick, very efficient. What I was saying, kind of moving from a version 1.0 to a version 17.0, similar to the iPhone, kind of really increasing our speed of manifesting, our speed of changing our state. And finally, over all 3 of these transmissions, we'll be working, with our happiness angel, going over the principles of the happiness angels. One of them being that we really don't need anything in our life. We don't need whatever we think we need to bring us inner peace, happiness, or joy. And of course, this is maybe an ideal right now, maybe what we're trying to learn to maximize our evolutionary state. Because when those brief moments of time, maybe they're more extended now, where we don't feel we need anything, we can really come to life in our relationships, the things that we're doing with a more balanced approach. We can allow the divine, whatever our spiritual archetype is, our spiritual guides to come through. And it's really when we come from a needy place, particularly a subconscious need, whether that be in a relationship, our job, perhaps, for example, we may feel like we're working because we need money, or we need the approval, or we need the status. You can kind of feel into that frequency. And it's something that we probably all have experienced. We may be under that sort of sense of need now, particularly if it's subconscious. Maybe we were shamed. Maybe we felt we didn't have enough when we were growing up. So we have that subconscious need, in our work, as this example. And that neediness prevents probably the full flow of the life force energy, full flow of the divine to come through us. Now we could shift, imagine a time, visualize a time when you didn't really feel you needed anything. Maybe you're at a party, maybe you're with your loved ones, your partners, your kids, your children, or just with yourself. And there you could be inspired because you gave the space for that divine energy to either to flow through you, or usually it's always flowing through us. It's really an awareness of that divine flow coming through. And then we acted under that inspiration. We did probably the same things that we may have looked like we were doing when we were in the needy state, but it has a different vibration, a different flow to it, a different feel to the people we're interacting with. We can be also more aware, even at a clairvoyant level or an inner sensitivity level that's not very apparent to what other people need, to kind of doing inspired actions, because we really don't have any fear or hope one way or the other of the outcome, because we're happy with who we are. And there was the great Jiddu or J. Krishnamurti, a spiritual teacher who died in the 90s. The Theosophical Society, when he was a young boy, had thought or kind of had earmarked him to be, the second coming of the Christ in embodied form. But he rejected that as a young man, and then just went on to be his own spiritual teacher, teaching for the next 70 or so years, J. Krishnamurti. And they asked him towards the end of his life why he was so happy. And, he was telling in what his statement was. And he said, because he doesn't care what happens, in anything. So he had come to that peace, maybe this ideal recognition that we don't need anything. We don't have to want anything. And then from that space, we can have everything. So using him as maybe one of the examples, he might be a happiness angel now, as he was embodied in that incarnation as Krishnamurti. But he may be inspiring us now from the spiritual side, letting us know we can be happy for no reason, because we have everything we need. And when we're happy in that case, we're really identifying with another sense of self. Of course, when I identify with Jean Ang, the personality, or this body, or maybe you identify with Sue Miller, if that's the name you're given, the body you're given, the personality self. Of course, that does have needs. We have a need to eat, a need to breathe, and so forth. But if we see that as a vehicle, maybe of our greater self, our divine self, our higher self, these are all labels for some aspect of our consciousness where, the Course in Miracles calls it the decision maker, where it's not physical, it's not even an astral or emotional body, a personality self. It's just pure consciousness, awareness. When we identify with that, when we've had so many experiences that we identify with that more than we do with our relative self, our relative personality. Ken Wilber called it our ever-present awareness. Then we do, and we can truthfully say, we have no need, we have no want, because that's a pure awareness, pure love, a pure joy, pure inner peace. And so I think if we start there and then move through these transmissions of relaxation, of emotional code frequency, of power manifesting, then we're really coming from a very strong place. We're coming sort of from the end, bringing that to the front, or at least knowing the roadmap of where we want to go. And then we may still look very much the same, very much accomplishing the same things, acquiring the same things, using the same things, interacting with the same people. But if you tune into the consciousness, to the frequency, to the vibration, of those two examples of one person who really is coming from the consciousness of already having everything they want, versus the consciousness of someone who feels they need to accomplish those things, to acquire those things, to be happy. The vibration, the consciousness, and really the effect, because we are really fields of influence, and that could be, of course, non-physical on all the dimensions. Then people really feel us, animals, things, environments, assuming they're all conscious, feel us in a different way. We remind them that they have no needs, because like attracts like, but also resonance. We kind of bring out that which we are in others, in other beings, in other places, in other spaces, even in other dimensions that are non-physical. We remind them of their, no need self, their divine self. And so we become resonant attractors of the divine. So what we're going to do in this kind of remaining time is to do a transmission inspired by the divine, inspired by the happiness angels. And the way to think of them are your guides. You may know the happiness angel or angels from in a very distinct way, maybe in a very named way. For the most part, maybe they've been working in the background, since the time immemorial, since we sort of have been in existence, sort of trying to remind us of our inner happiness. So we'll let them guide us in this transmission to remember that part of ourself or that view of ourself, which has no needs, which is already internally happy, internally peaceful. So if you like, you could just relax, just feel this frequency, feel this energy that's coming from these guides who have been with us. We're starting the happiness factor transmission, reminding ourselves specifically that we have no needs. If you like, you can gently keep your awareness in between your eyebrows and also at your heart center, as if someone's lightly touching you in between your eyebrows. You're touching yourself lightly also at the heart center. This will allow you to absorb and feel these frequencies in a deeper, more encompassing way. You might also get the presence of the happiness angels. They might inspire you to see colors that you've never seen in the physical world, which are happiness frequencies, really the 12 colors, the seven we visibly know: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And there's five kind of invisible colors: black, white, something called negative green, a spiritual carrier wave, infrared, ultraviolet. And these are frequencies that can be imbued with that emotional feeling of happiness. Maybe you remember when you were skiing or skateboarding, or if you like to take jumps on your bike when you're a kid, or even now, or you're running or skateboarding or doing something that kind of got your blood going, your joy going. Maybe it's playing a game or playing sports where score didn't matter anymore. You didn't have to worry about who won or lost. And now the transmission frequencies and energies are encoding us at a deeper subconscious level, helping us really embody this sense of ourself being complete and whole, having no hope and no fear because we're such in a balanced state. And maybe we understand that intellectually, which is a great first step. We know the roadmap of where we're going. Or we've had glimpses. I think we've all had glimpses. So we can remember that time where we were completely happy, satisfied. Maybe it was because of something, but maybe it was for no particular reason. Maybe we had fully slept, fully felt recharged. A lot of times when we're hungry or sleepy or tired, it's hard to get into that state where we remember we have no needs. We're complete and whole as who we are. So you can visualize a time you were that way, encoding that as a frequency Just imagining where in your body do you feel that when you're completely happy and satisfied. For example, maybe I see it in my throat, and now give it a color. For example, I see it as yellow, and then bring that color like a paint, like a pastel, like an energy to the top of your head. Imagine it coming down like a nectar to your head, your neck, your arms, all the way down to the fingers, tips of your fingers, your chest, your abdomen, your hips, your upper legs, your lower legs, down to your toes, your heels. And see yourself, for example, myself as a bright yellow. And now double that brightness and double that brightness again and double it once more till you're fully radiating that color, that frequency, that feeling of complete satisfaction, complete joy for no particular reason. It's just who you are. Finally, we're entering a third phase, encoding this into our future self, our present self, our past self. Just imagine yourself 3 months from now, and you're radiating that color. For me, it would be yellow, for example. And then you see yourself 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5, 10, 20, 40. You're full of that yellow color or whatever color it was for you, imbued, bright. Your timeline is bright. Going back to the present, you also imagine your past self 1 year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 5, 10, 20, 40. And then just send that color into your past, brightening your past. We rewrite our past. And coming back to the present, our happiness angels have assisted us in doing all these things at a deep subconscious level, at all the 7 subtle body levels: physical, etheric, emotional, mental, causal, spiritual, and divine. And we make the intention to use this to serve others, to bless others, to bless other beings, animals, non-incarnate human beings in all dimensions, in all spaces, in all times. When you feel comfortable, you can open your eyes and snap your fingers. I wanted to thank Lauren Gailey on the NEO Network, and she's going to give an additional introduction and post transmission introduction on this class. And she's such a wonderful host that will be part of all 3 sessions. And if you've been in our sessions before, we have great discussions. We'll go over these techniques and other techniques, other books that can help inspire you. And books are a great way to learn from other people. Like if we think of how long it takes a person, their experience, they're usually taking multiple years, maybe 20 years or more of their life, putting them into something that you can absorb, even if you like to savor a book slowly. Maybe it's 5, 6 hours. Maybe for some, they listen to it in an hour or read it within an hour. So you're taking more than 20 years of experience and sort of encompassing that or absorbing that into a book, and over again. As you change, you can always go back to those books. So books are a great peak performance way of accelerating your consciousness, or bring up different books that can help us in this happiness factor. And really the discussion between multiple people, we can learn just by energetic resonance in the group field. Even if we never say a word to another person, we're contributing through resonance by our field effect, by our information field. We've had experiences in this life and deeply in our subconscious of many lifetimes. So really we have a group field effect, whether we talk or not, whether we just enjoy people's company or just want to be part of the field effect. Even if we're doing it through the recordings, we know that interaction of other conscious beings who've come together, karmically related in some way, to just come together, is a great source of knowledge, and energetic exchange. And again, it doesn't have to be anything we actually say, although a lot of people like to unpack, what they're receiving through this field effect, through the happiness angels, through the divine guides and beings, and just through the divine. So we have great discussions unpacking, what we experience in the transmissions, also what we experience in our dream state. So it's really a 3-day retreat, even though we're only meeting 2 hours a day. And you can do it at your own time. So maybe you do it through the recordings, so you connect to us beyond space time, kind of in whatever works best for your schedule, for this sort of physical body, this personality. And so it's really just a great way to harness technology, harness the signs of our time, harness, where we are, and really to accelerate that connecting to, these divine dimensions, these divine beings who are really just waiting for us to ask for their help. In an interview, that I was listening to, where Andrew Holicek had talked with the great singer and kind of mantra chanter Deva Premal, if people know her and her beautiful music. She was talking about the angels, and she's talking about there's just a host of unemployed angels in her vision, in her clairvoyance. And really what she was trying to say in a nice kind of beautiful way is that there's so many angelic beings out there who are just waiting for us to really connect. So I think this label that I've given to, I think, a certain class of angelic beings, I call them the happiness angels, who will really meet consciously in this transmission, or you can just meet them now, because there's very personal ones, I think, in your life. Maybe you'll meet them in your meditation, in your vision, in your journeying, in your dream state, before our meeting together, or just inspired by hearing about them here, or maybe you've already met them. I think they're just waiting for us, particularly in this day and time, where depression is really a big factor. And it could be just even a slight depression, a sadness, and anxiety that, of course, we probably all have experienced. And, we can encode a different frequency. In fact, maybe there's a clarion call to encode a happiness frequency now on the planet, to really shift the planet into positivity, where it might not have been that way for centuries. Anyways, using everything we have, using technology, using our new inner technology 17.0 and beyond, we're really here to accelerate, to be kind of the leaders of change in the inner and outer world by holding a new code, a new frequency, with this happiness factor. Anyways, thanks so much for taking the time to watch this video. Thank you, Lauren, and everyone who will be at the course, and look forward to staying connected, and have a happy and great day. Thanks so much.
This has been a presentation of New Earth One Network, your home for New Earth living. Access information, education, and videos on living from the heart in unity consciousness. Visit newearth1.com.